Our Kelefa Sanneh is on Broadway this morning with a ticket to a unique Tony-nominated musical.
People are talking about a new Broadway musical that has no talking at all. The musical is Illinoise, based on a 2005 album called Illinois, pronounced without the E, by the singer-songwriter Sufjan Stevens.
Drove to Chicago.
For the show, an onstage band handles the music and the singing. The actors are dancers, telling the story not through dialogue, but through the choreography of Justin Peck.
I've seen Sufjan Stevens in concert. This is not traditionally dance music.
He doesn't write music in a straightforward way. I think it actually challenges the ear, and I felt like there was a unique rhythmic and dance world to be found in his music.
Peck began exploring that world in 2012 when he used Stevens' music in a work for the New York City Ballet. Since then, Peck's dances have leapt onto Broadway and the big screen. He's become one of the world's most celebrated choreographers, but Peck says Illinois was always on his mind.
Every once in a while, I would just say, hey, Sufjan, what do you think about taking Illinois and turning it into a musical? And eventually he turned to me and he was like, okay, here's the keys to the car. Take this, explore it, and I'll be there to support you.
Sufjan Stevens' involvement has been limited. Last fall, he announced he was recovering from Guillain-Barré syndrome, which had left him unable to walk. Peck says he knew Stevens had faith in him, but he figured he could use some help, so he recruited Pulitzer Prize-winning playwright Jackie Sibblies Drury.
Did you like the challenge of writing a musical without words?
Yes. I feel like, maybe more musicals should not have words.
They thought about including dialogue, then decided against it, but they still wanted to tell a story.
Can we peek in here? What's in this secret book that you guys have created together?
It's almost like a treatment if we think of the piece as like a silent film. It's like a narrative description of what goes on over the course of the show.
All things go, all things go.
The show follows a restless young man named Henry who finds himself around a campfire with friends, sharing diary entries, and who eventually decides to share his own story.
We're kind of doing what the characters do, which is we're sort of sitting around a campfire.
It's an ode to the origins of theater making. It's this is how it all began. People started to tell each other stories and entertain one another.
One of the musicians in the band is Shara Nova, who sang on the original album.
When we were making the record, we were just having fun. Seeing how the ripple has blown out is just incredible.
It was pretty far from Broadway, what was happening back then.
Exactly.
7 miles above the earth.
You're standing up here every night. You can look out into the audience. The people who come to this show, do they know these songs already?
Some of them know the songs and some of them don't. And you can sure see the ones that do because they're moving in 5.
Right. A lot of fans of Sufjan Stevens love this show. A lot of people who love this show are discovering Sufjan Stevens. Does Sufjan Stevens love this show?
That's an interesting question. He came to see the show a few weeks ago, and he was really blown away by it. He just kind of took it all in and had a great spirit about it, and there were a few really funny moments where he was like, did I really write that lyric? That doesn't make any sense.
There's something so bittersweet about the idea that he's struggling with his own mobility at the time that his songs are being given new life in this very physical form.
Yeah, it's a lot to grapple with.
I can't explain.
The show also deals with a lot of grief. It's very much reflective of life. There are these very high moments and there's very low moments. I think that's part of why audiences are really able to connect to this musical.
Illinois is an unlikely Broadway show, but it has received 4 Tony nominations, including Best Musical. And Justin Peck likes the idea that audiences might not know quite what they're in for.
That's the mark of good work, is if an audience can know nothing about it and just enter into the space and take it in and have an experience that moves them.
That's like a more eloquent way of saying no spoilers.
No spoilers, exactly, no spoilers.